Hello, I'm Miss Yosway again. I know a lot of y'all that start with A through E. Today for Couselor Connect, I'm going to talk a little bit about emotional regulation. So I know that can be hard for everyone. An important thing to remember when you're thinking about this is it's so important to have a goal or something you're working towards, whether that's short term or long term. And if you're unsure about it, that's okay, as long as you have something in mind, or you're at least starting to think about why you're here, getting your education, doing what you're doing. If you're in 9th and 10th grade, you probably aren't super specific, but just starting to think about that and having a general idea can be so important. When we're at home, it's kind of easier to use some different coping skills when we start to feel overwhelmed or stressed or any other feelings. You could go for a walk or do something you enjoy, like reading, playing a game, watching a video. But when we're at school, especially in a classroom, that's kind of harder. So I wanted to think about some things you could do while you're in a classroom if you start to feel overwhelmed, stressed, you're having conflict with someone. That'll keep you out of trouble and kind of help you regulate those emotions until you're able to process them in a better way. So one of the things is you could count to 10, take a deep breath. And I know that's not always the easiest thing to do, but if you can at least start to think about doing that, it's just like a skill, like math or reading. You'll get a little bit better each time, and before you know it, you'll do that on the regular, and that could keep you out of trouble. Another thing to do is remember that goal or whatever you're working towards or whatever you want for your future, whatever that could be. Keeping that in mind can kind of make it a little bit easier to make the right decision, especially when emotions and feelings start to get elevated. And then especially for stress or feeling overwhelmed, a good tip could be to write it down. If you're doing work on your laptop, you could send yourself an email, or if you're doing work on paper, you could jot it down on a piece of paper. That way you're writing it down, getting it out of your mind, and then you can focus on what you're doing in the classroom right then and there. And then later you'll have that email or that piece of paper, and you can go back to it and either talk with a friend or a parent, or you can make an appointment and come see your counselor and talk through that if you need a little extra help. A couple reminders I also wanted to go over. If you're a senior, Ole Miss is having their free application this weekend. It's the 13th through the 15th. And I think that's everything. If you go to the Horn Lake website and you go under the general info tab down to Counselor's Corner, you can make an appointment with any of us or see all our emails as always. There's also good ACT resources if you're a senior. That's coming up on the 31st. And if you're a 10th grader or 11th grader, that'll be next semester, but it's never too early to start thinking about it now. Have a great day.